10-year anniversary in the beautiful Oklahoma State Park of Beavers Bend. And we're going to be playing Parks.
You brought a board game on our anniversary trip?
Hey there, I have Parks on the table here. Let me go over this game with you guys, give you a brief overview of it. In Parks, you are going to be sending your hikers down the trailhead here, which will be determined, the path will be determined randomly each game as you will shuffle up these tiles and then place them out one by one, going down this line here. You will always have the basic ones that have this little icon on them. And in each round of the game, you will shuffle this pile of advanced ones and randomly pick one and add it into the line, which you will shuffle this into the line. It won't go at the end, but for the purposes of explaining, I'm going to put it at the end of the line here. And you will put the trail head at the end of the line. Now, the idea in this game is that you are going to be sending your hikers down this trail, and you can move either one of these, and you can move them as far down the line as you want to. But wherever you go, you're going to be taking an action, and the actions are listed at the bottom of these tiles. Wherever you see any of these icons, you will simply be gaining those type of icons. So for instance, if I were to send my hiker here, I'm going to gain 2 of the raindrop icons. And let me just say that the components in this game are fantastic. Everything is very nice in this game, very well produced. So all of these are the same, getting the icons that are pictured here, but some of the tiles do different things. So for instance, if I were to put a hiker on this one here, I would either gain a canteen card, which these canteen cards let you do bonus actions whenever you put a water token on them, you fill up your canteen, or I could exchange 2 of my tokens to take a picture, and any 2 of my tokens. So I could exchange any 2 of these tokens, which these tokens here are wildlife tokens that are cut out in different shapes of animals. And as being wildlife, they are wild. And so they count as any kind of token you want. But anyhow, I exchanged 2 of these to take a picture, and pictures are worth 1 point at the end of the game. And if I didn't already have the camera token, then I would take the camera token. And what the camera token is good for is I can do that action, except I only have to pay 1 token to take a picture instead of 2. And so it's cheaper for me to get 1 point, because again, pictures are worth 1 point. And then at the end of the round, if I have the camera token, I can take this action again. I can exchange 1 token for a picture at the end of the round. So it's very nice to have the camera token here. But again, that's what this tile does. And then this is one of the advanced tiles. This one in particular allows me to exchange 1 token for a wildlife token. Anyhow, we are going to move down this line. Players take turns moving their hikers, and you cannot go to a space that a hiker is already on, including your own hiker. So I could not go here unless my campfire is lit. So everyone's going to get one of these campfire tokens, and this is the lit side, and this is the extinguished side. If my campfire is lit, then I can go to a space with another hiker, but once I do that, I have to extinguish my fire, and my fire will stay extinguished until I get a hiker all the way to the end of the line, whereupon my hiker relights the campfire, and I can use it again. Now, what am I trying to do here with all of these tokens, you say? Well, I'm trying to exchange these tokens for visiting these parks up here. And as you can see, they're all different types of parks with different art on them that give me different points here in the green if I exchange these types of tokens. And so I do this at the end of the trail. So when I get to the end of the trail, I have 3 choices. I can take this top choice and reserve a park. And so what that means is I take one of these parks off the board here, and I set it in front of me, and I place it horizontally, like so. And this just means that I reserved this, no one else can take it, but I have not yet visited it, so I will not get the points, unless I then visit it and pay these tokens here. And so If I were to take the reserve action, I would put my hiker up here in the top box, and if I'm the first one to do this round, then I'm going to put him on the furthest right here, and that triangle means that I get to take the first player token. Any way the wind blows. Queen, hello? But yeah, this token lets me go first at the beginning of the round, but it also gives me 1 point at the end of the game. So this is kind of a valuable thing to have. If I did not want to reserve a park, if I just wanted to visit a park, then I could put my worker down here, and any number of people can go there at the end of the round. And when you do that, you just simply pay the resources on the card back to the supply, and you can take this card and it now gives you the number of points that it says right here on the left. Once you've taken a park, then a new one will come out and replace it as so. The third thing that you could do at the end of a round is take this middle action here, which has the gear icon on it. And if I'm the first one to do it, I'm going to place my worker in one of these boxes here. This one's only available in a 4 or more player game. And so if I'm only playing 3 or fewer players, I would go there. And that means I get a discount on purchasing one of these gear items. And the cost is always in sunshine tokens. And so if I'm the first one to finish there and I placed my worker there on that sunshine icon, then I get a 1 sunshine discount to be able to purchase a gear. And these gears let you do special things. So like for instance, this one says, parks cost 2 less water to visit. So there you go. And the same thing when one of these are bought, then a new one comes out. There's one other thing about setup that I did not explain real quick, and that is the weather. There is weather in this game, and so it changes how the game will be played each round. So for instance, this one says gain 1 water if you ever gain any trees this round. And so that is a new rule that takes place this round that this card will come up in. And then down here you can see that the weather is going to affect the round this round. And so what that means is I look at the pattern, and starting on the second tile, whatever the second tile is, I start creating that pattern with tokens. And so I would put a water, water, and sunshine. That's the pattern, water, water, sunshine. I would continue with that on down the line until I get to the end. So water, water, and now I've gotten to the end. Whenever a hiker goes to any of these spots, not only do they take what's on the bottom, but they will also take any tokens that are on the top part of the tile there. And so that's how that works. Each round you flip out a new weather card. Also, each round, you're going to take these tiles and shuffle them up and arrange them again, starting from left working to right. And so the trail is always going to look different. And you will include 1 extra advanced token. That's what this little icon down here in the bottom right means. And so these do extra actions as well. There is an extra one that you will add if you are playing with 4 or more players. So there are more spaces to go to. Essentially, that is the game. Each player will also have their own special little calendar agenda that they're trying to achieve throughout the course of the game. That gives them bonus points if they visit certain types of parks or do certain actions, getting certain tokens, that sort of thing. You play 4 rounds, 4 seasons. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner, and that is how you play Parks. Okay, so here's Sam and I doing a 2-player playthrough of Parks, and right now we're going to share our thoughts on this game. Sam, what did you think about Parks?
I really enjoyed it. I did not think that I would enjoy it as much as I did. I thought there was a lot of components to it that would make it confusing, but it really wasn't. It was a pretty straightforward game. The components made it a lot of fun, and the theme was there, but not in a confusing way. It meshed well and made it a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think for me, trying to teach this game as a gamer to you, the non-gamer, I almost felt like, oh man, this is teetering on the verge of being too much. The verge of being too many rules, too many components, and it could be possibly overwhelming. And then when you add on the theme, parks, like we're going to the park, and just that idea, it seems on the surface like, I don't know about this game. I don't know about the rules. I don't know about all these mechanics, these components. On the surface, it feels like this might not work. Like this might not be a good game to do with a non-gamer. But then you open the box and you get to playing it, and guys, this game is awesome. This game rules. I absolutely love this game. I could see this game being the favorite game for some people. Like, this is the game that might top their A-list. Sam, what did you think about the gameplay of this game?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I would definitely say it's one of my top games right now. I want to play it again. I thought that the playability was great. I understood it really quickly. I feel like I kind of got my strategy pretty early, which for me doesn't typically happen with the first playthrough of a game. I usually have to play it more than once to really get a strategy, but I got it. I understood it. Every step worked well with each other, and it just flowed very well.
Yeah, it was very fluid, intuitive. You knew what you were doing, and everything made sense. And the theme, I know we've already kind of touched on it, but the theme of this game is really cool. You are hiking on a trail, visiting these parks, and you need certain little tokens to visit the parks, which essentially you're buying the card is what you're doing. And it just works. Everything really works well with this game. Now, I will say we've only played this on a 2-player play count. There are extra components when you play with 4 or more players, and so I feel like with 2 players it works well, and with 4 or 5 players it probably works well, although we've not tried it. I do wonder about it playing with 3 players though, because the trail does not get any longer for 3 players than it does with 2 players, and it already felt pretty tight with 2 players. So I kind of wonder if with 3 players it would play very well, because it is tight, and the getting those tokens is kind of difficult to do. That's where the game lies in, and so it may be a little bit more difficult with 3 players, and I would wonder how that would work out. But that being said, this game is really awesome, really cool, and I enjoy just the struggle it takes to try and get these tokens, knowing where your opponents are wanting to go and trying to block off those spaces, forcing them to have to use their campfires and such. Just really a lot of fun doing that. So Sam, let me ask you, you said there at the beginning that it felt a little overwhelming, but once you got playing it, you realized just how good this game can be. Do you feel like that overwhelmed feeling could push some people away, or do you feel like that they're going to kind of experience what you experienced in you get through it and you realize how great of a game it is?
Yeah, I don't think it was very overwhelming. I feel like it just flowed well. You knew each component, you knew each step. I mean, for me, it's not uncommon for me to ask a lot of clarifying questions the first time I play a game. That's just, I cannot hear the rules at the beginning and know how to play a game. I have to keep clarifying, and I just don't feel like I had to do that as much. Maybe here and there, what does this piece do? What does that piece do? For the most part, I just got it.
Right.
So I don't know if that's just how the game went, if I was actually paying attention to what you were saying. I don't know.
Well, and to give you guys an example of maybe what we're talking about here, the wildlife tokens are wild, meaning they can be used as anything. And that's just kind of one of those small little ways that this game is intuitive. You look at it and you say, oh, wildlife. Right, these are wild tokens. They can be used as anything. And that's kind of how this game is. It's just so intuitive and so fluid that everything seems to work well together, and you just understand it pretty quickly. But on the surface, this is not, just a dull run-of-the-mill experience where it's just boring.
I love how the path changes. So I would be excited to play it again, see how the path changes, and, play again.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is one that we're going to be playing again and again. All right, let's get into our ratings on this game. Sam, scale of 1 to 10, love to hate. What do you give this game?
I'd say a 9.1.
Wow, 9.1. That's really, really high. I'm going to give this game probably an 8.9. And honestly, I want to play it more to see if it would even go up higher than that. 8.9 for now, with the obvious potential to go up even more. All right, Sam, obvious question here, and I think I know the answer, obvious answer probably. Is this a game you would recommend with non-gamers?
Yes, for sure. Maybe not the younger ones, but I think in general a non-gamer will enjoy this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is one that you'll play with your adult friends, maybe teenage friends, and they'll enjoy it. All right, if you enjoyed this game, check out the link in the description of the video. If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, we are love to hate.